Yo, what's up, my peoples? What's up? What's up? How we doing? How we doing, people? What up, Zone? What's up? What's up? What's up, dude? Yo, yo. What up? What up? How we doing on this fine Sunday morning, people? Happy Father's Day. What up, Thunderbolt? What's up, Jack? Huh. What up, Chi-Town? What's up? Edmundo, how old are you? I got a question about Chicago. What up, Eli? What up? I ordered so much pizza last night when I was drunk. I'm about to fucking eat it all. Look at this shit. Oh, fuck. I ate all my fucking chicken fingers. What up, Mike? What up, Mikey, baby? Ah, shit. What's good? What's good? How we doing? Hit me. Ew, your fries taste so bad. Edmundo, how old are you? Edmundo, Ed, whatever. Brendan, don't fucking start with me this morning. I don't have time for your shit right now. I don't have the fucking patience. I don't want to have to fucking sun you on Father's Day. I'll do it. I'll do it if necessary. What up, Mize? What's up? What the fuck? Why am I getting charged 2 times? 33. Word. I was gonna ask you something about like a question about the rappers in Chicago. If you knew anything going on with the fucking with Chief Keef and that fucking retarded rapper 6ix9ine. But you're probably too old for that. I'm fucking too old for that. 25. No, I'm gonna throw the World Cup on though. Who's playing? Mike, what'd you pay up for Adams? And what's the budget? Yeah, Takashi, whatever his fucking name is. What is he even famous for? Does he even make music? I feel like all I do is see him on Instagram being like a fat cunt. I don't think I've ever heard a song of his. Like, why is he so rich? I don't get it. The fuck is Takashi 6ix9ine doing with his life that I'm not doing? Besides eating fucking pizza on a Sunday morning. You heard Kids See Ghosts. I listened to it. I listened to it one time through. I like the first song with Pusha T. I gotta listen to it again though. I'm not really a fan of Cudi, to be honest with you. It's an unpopular opinion of mine. Where do we ask questions? Right here. Ask me any question you want, King True. All I do is provide answers, baby. I'm trying to beef now. Yeah, I seen what's going on. That he took Chief Keef's baby mama out. But then they're saying he's rolling around with cops. I don't know what's going on. But I would not want to fuck with Chief Keef. Adams or Green. I want Devontae Adams there. I want the better offense. They're both wide receiver ones. Green's obviously a little more talented physically, athletically, but much rather the quarterback and the offense that Adams is in. It's close though. I think Adams is my wide receiver 6. I think him and Julio are like 6A, 6B. And then Green is be like Adams, Julio, and then Green. So Dalton is trash. Yes, very true. But I've looked at the numbers, and he's much better when he has time to throw the ball. Both him and Green, obviously, because Green's a guy who works down the field. So with an improved offensive line, I think we're going to see a little bit of a bounce back at least. I mean, Green's gone. He's been top 12 fantasy wide receiver for like 7 years in a row. So he's going to be there. I feel like everything kind of breaks wrong for Cincy, and it's been breaking wrong for the last like 5 years. So something can fucking break right for once. They can have a bounce back here. Thoughts on Howard mid-third? He's probably not someone I really want to own in redraft too much. I haven't really taken him in best ball at that spot. That's where he's usually going. I don't know. My thoughts on Howard, they're not really committing to him as the bell cow, you know. And they had he was there at the end of the year last year, but he wasn't very efficient. Even though I do think his efficiency is going to go up, it's a better offense. I think they're going to use Tariq Cohen a lot more in the backfield. He's just a zero in the passing game, so it's like guys that are going around the same spot as him, like a Jerick McKinnon or someone like that. I would much rather prefer that because they're way more involved. But I could be wrong on Howard, right? Because he's got the better offense, and they're going to be running spread. He's much better running the ball out of the shotgun than he is under center. And Matt Nagy coming in and the offensive coordinator coming in run spread offenses. And with Trubisky and Jordan Howard, that should be an upgrade for both of them. Plus, if you have a mobile quarterback like Trubisky, it helps out Howard. So it's not someone I'm reaching for, not someone I absolutely hate, but not someone I'm absolutely targeting. You prefer Kerryon Johnson or Sony in Dynasty League? That's a really good question because they're super far apart for me in redraft. But I absolutely love Kerryon Johnson in a Dynasty League. I would still take Sony just because super, super, super close. I like either of them, but for the most part, I'm probably still going to take Sony because I think he's going to get like 3 really, really good years in this Patriots offense. I'm in a 16-team league. Okay. Is there a question there, Zone? What should I do if I don't own a 4th, 5th, or 6th round pick? I need more context. Is this a redraft league? Why the fuck don't you own any of those picks? Are you keeping anybody? Talk to me, Dylan. Talk to me, baby. Another one. Another one. Mike, what'd you spend on Adams? PPR keeper, Hunt or Fournette? SOS. What is SOS? It says Hunt has a tough running schedule and Casey in general have a tough schedule. Fournette is one of the easiest with a dominant defense. I don't know what you think. I have Fournette ranked above Hunt in my rankings. But I also have PPR, not full PPR, so Hunt gets probably a little bit more of a boost. I'm still going to go Fournette. I think his workload volume super high. They bring in Norwell on the line. That line is only going to get better. The defense, as we know, they're just masking mortals, and Fournette's going to get a million fucking carries again. So Fournette he doesn't have the talent or the upside as these elite guys, but there's arguably no better floor as long as he's in the game. Dalvin Cook or Fournette, also really, really close. I'm going to go Fournette there again, still higher ranked. If it's full PPR, I would start to consider Dalvin Cook, but in anything less than full PPR, I'm not sure I trust Cook's workload as much as I trust Fournette's. Because you got to think Latavius Murray probably earned himself a role, if nothing on the goal line. So he played really well last year. He showed he can catch the ball. He showed he can be used on the goal line. They're saying he looks really good. So you got to remember coming into last year, he was hurt too. He barely had a preseason to kind of get ready for the thing. Any more Pocky chip? Fuck no. I will never do that again. My throat still fucking hurts from that. Redraft, no keeper. Why don't you have a 4th, 5th, or 6th round pick, Dylan? Damn, Mike. But I also sold about 600 startup for 850 rookie. Really? Interesting. It's a lot on Adams, bro. I respect it, though. Oh, strength of schedule. Yeah. When I was looking at Patrick Mahomes, I was only looking at a passing standpoint. really, really tough strength of schedule to start the season. I usually don't look beyond like first 6 or 8 weeks because you have no idea what teams are going to be like or what defenses are going to be like in like week 8, injuries. And, going into last year, you can be like, oh, the Jags are going to be good, but you would have no idea they were going to be like this. And that changes everything for strength of schedule. Which rounds are best to take a QB and a tight end in a 16-round, 12-team standard? If you're starting one quarterback and one tight end, definitely waiting on quarterback there for sure. If it's tight end, I'd go based off value again. If Gronk drops to the early mid-20s, I like Gronk there because then he shores up your tight end position. Otherwise, I want a guy like a Delaney Walker in the 6th, 7th, 8th round where he falls. Tight end is not, people compare quarterback and tight end in terms of streaming because you only start one of them, obviously. But the thing about it is, like, you can't compare the two positions because you could stream quarterbacks because there's so many good ones that you could use. You can't really stream tight ends because they all suck. They're all relative to each other, but it's because they all suck. So if you have a good tight end as opposed to just 10 shitty tight ends, like, you have an advantage at the position. Where at quarterback, it's hard to get an advantage because everyone performs kind of the same on a week to week. So tight end, I would go off value, and I would try not to wait until late in the draft. Try to get one that you're comfortable starting. But quarterback, I would wait on it. There's like 18 guys that'd be fine starting this year. You think Freeman will return? Yeah, I think Freeman's gonna be fine. That team is just the team led. So listen to this stat. So this is actually from Evan Silva's. Evan Silva does a really good team by team breakdown every off season. And I hadn't read any of them yet, but I read through all the ones that he had put out thus far this morning. I did when I woke up. And the thing with Freeman is the Falcons led the NFL. They were either top 3 or they led the NFL in yards per drive and yards per play. Very good offense still, but they were like 15th in points per game. So they just couldn't score, right? And you'd have to assume that kind of meets halfway and that offense should bounce back in general. And, Matt Ryan's touchdown percentage fucking dropped like crazy. So, yeah, I like Freeman getting not to 2015 because I think anytime you project a running back to perform at that level is crazy. But 2016, yeah. What do you think about sex on the first date? If you had asked me when I was like 18 or 21, I'd been like, yeah, go for it. Trying to have sex with anything that moved. Now I'm more selective with who I have sex with because I found that any girl that I've had real relationships with have made me wait to have sex with them. And it makes you like them and get to know them more as a person so that when you do finally have sex, you're super comfortable and you can throw her off the fucking bed and joke about it. However, if you do it on the first date, it could be good. Could have really good chemistry right off the bat, but I like to wait. I like to wait if it's a girl that I know I'd like. That makes sense. I don't know if you're joking, but I actually have a strong take on that. I have an opinion. Dalvin Cook or Jerick McKinnon? Still going Dalvin Cook there. But McKinnon is fast rising up my draft board in my rankings. But I'll still go Cook, straight up. Which rookie running back has the highest ceiling this season other than Saquon? They all have really high ceilings, in my opinion. I think Sony Michel has 12 touchdown upside. I think Rashad Penny has like 275 to 300 touch upside. Ronald Jones has, he probably doesn't have the same upside as those two do because he's sharing that backfield. But I would probably say Michel or Rashad. Oh, and Geis too. Geis, I really like Geis. I really do. But obviously with Chris Thompson there, it's hard to tell how involved he's going to be in the passing game. And of course, you could say the same thing for Michel, but the reason I like Michel is because he's got that touchdown upside. Traded them last year. Ouch. Did you at least win your league, Dylan? I need to get Bortles. It's super flex. Mike, you really like Bortles, man? I don't. I'm not in on Bortles, man. He's my least favorite late round quarterback that people are like generally high on. Gordon or Fournette. I have the 12th pick in a full point PPR league. Zone. I'm probably going to go Melvin Gordon there in a full PPR league. He was super heavily involved in the passing game. They're talking about getting him even more looks this year. Tall man, PPR, guys or Alex Collins. Give me Darius guys there. Yeah, dude. Listen, dude. I haven't heard any like new news on Luck, but if I had to put my money on it now, I definitely have him starting week 1. So T.Y. Hilton, Andrew Luck. Get as much Hilton as you can in best ball drafts in like the 4th and 5th round right now as you can. Nah, I think you're straight on Luck, bro. What's your thoughts on Amari Cooper this year? Dude, I need to do one of the In the Muck Mondays on Amari Cooper to figure out my thoughts. The video coming out tomorrow, guys, is Stephon Diggs versus Josh Gordon. You guys are gonna like that one. I broke that motherfucker down like a shotgun. It's gonna be a good one. So Cooper, I'm probably gonna need more time to develop my thoughts on him, but I don't know. I think we just have unrealistic expectations for Cooper. I don't think he's ever gonna be like a top 5 fantasy wide receiver. Like at that size, you got to be a big playmaker, which he's capable of doing. But then you look at guys like his size that have broken out, right? And you like to compare them, like Antonio Brown, Odell, even Stephon Diggs. The thing about those guys compared to an Amari Cooper is they're really, really good in tight situations, contested catch rate, and in like the red zone and the end zone, right? And that's why they're so quick that they can get open in those tight spaces, and they're really good at contested catches. Those 3 are amongst like the top of the league all the time. Amari Cooper sucks in the end zone. That's going to hold him down for a long time. Bortles gets as much rushing yards. I feel like you're talking about in total, like when you're looking back at the statistics. There's no way on a per game basis Mariota doesn't outrush Bortles. Yo, what the fuck was that? What did Phil Mickelson do yesterday? What's wrong with him? Who are some good sleeper RBs? Man, I made like 17 videos on this subject. Burkhead, Corey Clement, Alan Hearns, Emmanuel Sanders. What do you think is a good spot to draft Ingram? What size is your league? Realistically, I'm not touching Ingram probably to like the 7th round. Just because, I don't know. I'm not someone who likes to have guys sit on my bench. I'm someone who makes a lot of moves throughout the week. And I like to have not open space in my roster, but like I don't want to hold a roster spot knowing that I like to make a lot of moves. That's just me personally. In the first few weeks, I try to hit the waiver wire pretty hard if I see like talent on the screen. And obviously, if you're rostering Ingram, then you're going to have to wait for 4 weeks. And you don't know, like you look at like Willie Snead, he was in the doghouse last year, never got back to himself. You don't really know what the production is going to be like. And they just signed Terrence West. So I don't know. I'm definitely not like, I feel like people are, some experts that I'm listening to are like, yeah, Ingram comes back and then you're getting like an RB, a low RB1, high end RB2. And I'm like, I feel like that's not even close to a guarantee. Who knows? Like maybe that's why he was so good the last couple of years, because he fucking took mad steroids. Ajayi or Mixon? Give me Mixon there straight up for show. Team standard league. Do you like Freeman and Devonta Adams or Julio and McCaffrey? In a standard league, definitely Freeman and Devonta Adams. Because both guys should probably hit double-digit touchdowns like pretty easily this year. and Julio McCaffrey might combine for half the amount of touchdowns that Freeman and Devonta Adams do. And touchdowns are huge in standard, obviously. Oh man, half PPR. Yeah, Adam. I mean, I'm not taking him for a while. Full PPR dynasty: Russell Wilson, OBJ, Jay. Oh my God, this is a lot. Russell Wilson, OBJ, Jay, second. Stafford, not Adams, bro. It's really close. I'm probably gonna go with the Russell Wilson side because OBJ is probably my number one overall player in Dynasty. Yeah, that's kind of why. He's getting Edelman and Hogan smart. So do you take Jordan Matthews as well? Out of the three, who you like? Hogan right now is my favorite guy there. I mean, yeah, I would be fine getting any of those guys on my team as long as you're getting them. Like, don't just pick them for the sake of getting them. But if they're values, yeah, why not? Fuck it. I've been thinking about if Edelman drops pretty far, I think he's going to come back and pretty much have the same role that he's always had. So if you can get Hogan in like the 6th, 7th, and Edelman a couple rounds later, yes, sir. First season doing fab. Still trying to get a feel for the value of waivers. How much do you recommend to spend on an RB when it hurts a big welter injury? My question, Ronan, is your entire league, is this the first year that your entire league is doing fab? Or did you guys just change it to the fab budget? So what I found is when I've done a new league with people who haven't done the fab budget before, they're super, 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 super conservative with fab. And like if a player like that goes down, they don't spend more than like 20% of their budget. But I read a good piece or good rule that I think is good for people that play in the fab. Like if someone that would have been like a top 5, like in the first 5 rounds or 6 rounds of a draft pick becomes like this, becomes available on waivers, then you're okay to spend all of your fab if you want. If you have like say last year, like Spencer Ware goes down, Kareem Hunt is available on the free agent wire, and you have fab, you're putting it all. You're going 100% on that. How early to take Sony in a 12 team half PPR? Should I take an early 4th? I think early 4th is probably about where I start looking at him. Yeah, I mean it depends who falls, of course, and that would go by your rankings, but that's when I'm going to start looking at him. And I know it's definitely earlier than the standard person right now. How early do you take Sean Watson or wait on Cam Newton? Guys, it's hard for me to get a gauge on the audience here, like what types of leagues you're playing in. And I know like any type of sharp league, like if you're in a league with like people that really follow fantasy football, Sean Watson's really going to drop until like the 6th round, which is fine. But like if you're in a league where Deshaun Watson might go in like the top 3, 4, 5 rounds, do not take him. He's probably going to be on my bust list in my draft guide just because of where his ADP is right now. Yeah, no, don't take Watson. Definitely wait on Cam. What up, Nick? What's up, Nicholas? Man, dude. DeWitt, Mixon or Sony Dynasty? Dynasty, you can give me Mixon. Do you prefer Zeke or David Johnson standard? Zeke for sure. Not for sure, but I like Zeke's much better touchdown upside. Their line should be full health this year. Guys average like 24 fucking carries a game, 25 touchdowns in 25 career games. Standard league, I have 8 picks in the first 50 picks. I love RBs and wide receivers. I grab a tight end QB early. Again, guys, if you're in a 1 quarterback league, don't draft a quarterback early for sure. Don't do it. So I'd be fine grabbing a tight end early, but I'm absolutely staying away from quarterback in the top 50 picks outside of super flex or 2 quarterback leagues, of course. What channel's the World Cup on? Where we at though? Who's playing? I haven't watched any of the World Cup. You know what's crazy? When the World Cup's coming to fucking. What up, Wade? I don't know. I ordered mad pizza last night when I was drunk. What time's the fuck? Where's the fucking World Cup on, dog? Nah, Wade. Out of here. Out of here. Not at QB2, bro. What was I saying? I can keep Jared Goff for a 13th round pick. When should I grab another quarterback? Who should I target? I don't even really see that as a value, to be completely honest with you. It's probably about where I would take him in a regular draft. But I don't know how your league kind of drafts. What I would do for you is look at like the first six, Mike Parker, look at the first 6 weeks of the season, like first 6 or so. Figure out which games are going to be really hard matchups for Goff, because he does not perform well against bad teams or good teams, good defenses. He performs much better against shitty defenses, obviously. But I noticed those splits this offseason. I would look at Goff's schedule, see which weeks are like, oh, fuck, he's got a bad matchup. And then just go on Google and type in like 2018 fantasy football quarterback strength of schedule and try to line up a quarterback, a late round streamer that has a really good schedule on the weeks that Goff doesn't. Kind of it was just plain, bro. Plain Positional. I had chicken fingers too. I crushed them motherfuckers. Fox Sports 1. Oh my god. What channel is that on Files? Hey, I found it. Oh, word. My best friend's girlfriend is Mexican. She's probably going fucking nuts right now. You know, when the World Cup comes to America in 2026, was that 8 years from now? It's sick because Big Dog's Gotta Eat's going to have its own fucking press box there. I'm going to be live streaming from the World Cup in 8 years, guys. Fucking mark my words. Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, and Standard. Give me Jones there, Brie. I like both Detroit receivers. I like all 3 of their Detroit receivers of Galladay. With going back-to-back RBs smart and having Josh Gordon as my receiver 1. Yeah, I mean, if I'd be perfectly fine with Fournette, any of those 2 of those 3 running backs back-to-back in the first 2. And then, I mean, if you're high on Josh Gordon, I mean, I'm not going to be super comfortable with Josh Gordon as my wide receiver 1 just because I don't know if the volume's going to be there. But if you like Gordon, if you believe in him, then yeah, that's fine. You never know. Someone could drop there too. Full PPR, give me Melvin Gordon frat boy. Uh-oh, here goes Mexico. Oh, you fucking fraud. You're an idiot. You're nuts, can breezy. Yeah, you facts. He was fine without Edelman, bro. The Edelman fucking suspension actually fucked me because now I can't get Hogan for the price that I was going to get him. Goddamn. In the 12-man half PPR draft, I got the plug. We're going to secure the bag. What? Adam, I love the first 3 picks. Adam the ace. But I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't touch a quarterback in a 1 quarterback league until late. There's just so many good ones that you could stream. Uh-oh. Oh, you fucking fraud. Dalvin Cook this year? How did you become a Falcons fan? So when I was young, when Vic came in the league, and I was younger, obviously, I was really young at that point. I don't know. He just polarized me, and he was I don't know. I just fell in love with Vic. He's like the most polarizing fucking athlete of all time. And I was like, yep, that's my guy. And then I just stuck with the Falcons since then. Since I was like, I've always done that. That's how I have all my teams. Like, I'm from Jersey, but I'm a Falcons fan, and I'm a OKC Thunder fan. It was because I love the Texas Longhorns. My room used to be completely orange. My bed set was the Longhorns. So I loved because TJ Ford made me fucking love Texas when he took them to the Final Four like fucking 48 years ago. And then KD came, and I love KD, so I followed him into the NBA. And when he went to the OKC Thunder, I became a Thunder fan. And then when he left, I was obviously like, fuck KD. The only KD we acknowledge is Kenyon Drake now, as embarrassing as that is. Trading Kenyon Drake and Chris Godwin, 2 separate trades. No, Seth, definitely not trade number 1. Godwin for 2nd. And no, I would take Godwin over the 2nd round pick and Drake over the Stills in 2019 3rd. Vince Young, fuck yeah, Vince Young, bro. Shit almost made my heart burst when he ran that touchdown in against USC. I love Reed, hate him on this too much. Dude, I'm not even fucking touching. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. My thoughts on Reed are this. If you're going to take Reed, I wouldn't take him. All right, if you're going to take Reed, you're obviously going to need to roster 2 tight ends. However, if you're going to take Reed, I would be picking a tight end before him, not banking on Reed to be your guy and then taking one that goes after him, because you're going to have a shitty tight end that way if Reed doesn't work out. And the way I'm looking at it is I'm pessimistic about both Reed and Tyler Eifert. Eifert's already not in minicamp. He's not like training. And Reed has already gotten like operations on his fucking toes this offseason. Apparently he's running again and he's healthy, but like I literally don't trust either of those guys. So I won't be rostering any of them. For Godwin for 2/3 and Mark Walton. No, man, I'm pretty high on Godwin. I think Godwin's a really, really good player. And when Deshaun Jackson is finally out of Tampa Bay, Godwin's going to be a really, really, really productive receiver with Mike Evans. So Godwin's someone I have ranked very highly in Dynasty. Trade Drake and Enunwa for McKinnon. Yes, absolutely. I would take McKinnon in a second on that. What are your thoughts on Kirk Cousins' troubles in the red zone minicamp with the Vikings? Is there reports that he's having trouble in the red zone already? I mean, he's always been someone who struggles in the red zone. You're gonna like my video tomorrow, Wade. My In the Muck Monday video is Stephon Diggs versus Josh Gordon, and Stephon Diggs happens to grade out as top of the league in press success versus press coverage, press versus man coverage, contested catch rate. All these things that will turn him into an elite red zone target for Kirk Cousins, who struggles in the red zone. So I think they're kind of a match made in heaven. Can McKinnon really be an RB1? What up, though? Yeah, he can. He's going to get so much fucking passing work. It's going to be absurd this year. DJ number 2 overall. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm really not going to argue against anyone that's going to take any of the top 4 running backs in those orders. My personal one is Le'Veon Bell. I'm taking him number 1, like for sure. He's my number 1. But like after that, early DJ Zeke, it's super preference, and I guess dependent on what your league settings are. Kamara or Zeke? Definitely Zeke for me. Diggs versus Gordon. So Hill or Diggs in Dynasty? Give me Diggs there. DeWitt. For show. Yeah, Mike, you love Diggs. DJ 3rd overall? Yeah, sure. What's up, Callum Plays? I saw, dude. Good, funny punishments for last place finish. Okay, so what have we done? I'm going to do stand-up. I'm going to do open mic night, stand-up comedy. Someone sent me a video a couple weeks ago. A group of friends, they had a pickup truck, and the last place loser had to go in the back of the pickup truck in a Speedo, and they went through the a car wash. That was funny. One that we're going to have my E-Town Get Down, my big money league. We have a league meeting every summer, which I film, and I'll put it on here. You guys usually love that one. We discuss our last place punishment. This year, my friend who lost in our 2017 league is going to be a bathroom attendant for a night. So we're going to go out to like a club somewhere or bar or something, and he's going to dress up as a bathroom attendant and play that role for the night. We also, where else? There's so many good fucking punishments you could think of. We discussed doing pretending to be Jehovah's Witness for like 3 hours. You have to walk around trying to convert people and knock on their doors. which I think was fucking phenomenal. The Pocky Chip Challenge, yeah, that would be a fucking. It's really quick. It's not. I feel like that's not embarrassing enough, to be honest. Lev's running style is so smooth, man. Yeah, he's ridiculous. How do you feel about Jake Seeley? I don't know. Is there a certain way I should feel about him? I just kind of started following him like recently. I don't really know much about him, to be honest. He's not someone whose opinion I don't have a strong opinion on him. DJ number 2 overall and Cook keeper. Looking towards a wide receiver RB and Ratio. Yeah, I mean, you could start 4 RBs, sure. At that point, since you're not really worried about, you're still not worried about like depth and bench, I'd go value. I wouldn't go into it being like, I'm going to do this position. Wilson, yeah, oh my God. That's so many names. QB1 Goff. No, maybe if you put 2 more zeros after that, Ray. Russell Wilson, J.J. OBJ for Kirk, Hunt, Mike Evans, Fair. When you're talking about Kirk, are we talking about Kirk Cousins or are we talking about Christian Kirk? How do you feel his first 3 RBs were rookies? I mean, if it was Saquon Barkley, fucking Darius Geis, and Sony Michel, and I got them at good values, it's fine. Got no problem with that. Oh my God, this is crazy. Oh. I just got offered McCaffrey for Henry in a standard. You know what, dude? I'm really high on McCaffrey in Dynasty because backs like his type can usually, you know, when you're getting when a big part of your workload is passing and receiving, right? You're not taking the hits that a normal running back takes. So your lifespan is much longer than these workhorse backs. So I to be honest, I like McCaffrey there, even in a standard league. Thielen or Baldwin full PPR. I'm gonna go Baldwin there, Sean Murphy, with all the opportunity up there in Seattle. Colts gonna request Andrew Luck to throw a special force. They fucking should. Watkins or Amari in Dynasty PPR. Jeez. That's close. Wait, what's good? What's going on with Martavis Bryant? Did something happen with Martavis Bryant? Talk to me about that. Okay, so Wilson, Ajayi, OBJ for Kirk Cousins, Hunt, Mike Evans. Fair. They need to add picks, full PPR Dynasty. 1 quarterback league. I mean, I'd say it's fair, but I would go with I'd probably go with the OBJ side just because I have OBJ ranked much higher than I have Mike Evans in Dynasty League. And I mean, Hunt's obviously an upgrade over Ajayi, but I don't think it's that crazy in Dynasty League. Diggs or Thielen standard? Give me Diggs there, Antonio. Brown or Kamara? Full PPR? Give me Brown there. Oof. What would you target for trading Drake? If you're trading away him, wait, what are we asking? See, Bryant on drugs. How high are you? Not that high. Oh, you mean high on Drake? The only Drake we acknowledge is the college, bro. Yeah, yeah, I'm not high on Drake whatsoever, bro. So, I mean, I don't know. It depends. Find someone who's high on him in your league and try to get good value for him. It's hard to just kind of pop names off, depending on positions. I mean, I'm going to have a lot of players ranked ahead of him, so I would probably pull off a lot of trades for him. Brian might get suspended, apparently. Obviously. They're saying he's most likely going to be suspended for the year. For real? Jeez. So that leaves Mark Cooper. This is going to be a sad fucking Raiders offense, bro. Yo, what up, Nicholas? What's good? Trade away Nyheim Hines for a first-round rookie. Yeah, I would make that. I mean, Hines is, what is he going? Second, maybe third round this year in rookie drafts. I would definitely take the first next year. We have no idea. We're hearing fucking reports out of the Colts camp every day about a new Jordan Wilkins, and it was Nyheim Hines. Now it's fucking Robert Turbin. Like, we have no idea what's going to happen there. Stafford or Ryan. 6-point touchdown lead. Thinking I can get Ryan a couple rounds later. Think he's going to beat the game. Yeah. I have them ranked pretty closely. I have Stafford ranked highly. More highlier. I just made that shit up right there. But I think Ryan's definitely a candidate for a bounce back here. His touchdown percentage dropped way below his career average, so he's probably going to bounce back up. Probably throw like 4 or 5, 6 more touchdowns that he did last year. So if you want to wait a few more rounds and grab Ryan, I'd be fine with that too. I think Jameis Winston is probably like the best fucking value at late round quarterback though. And Eli Manning's pretty good, but he's late. Sir Bong. What up, Sir Bones? What's up, sir? What's up? Drake's the plug. Yeah, no. Fuck no. Drake sucks. Huge fraud. Yo. Oh, fuck. I never hit you back. My bad, Nick. Sorry. My fucking DMs be all over the place. Damn, Mexico pulled off that dub, huh? Isn't Germany #1 ranked in the world? Nicholas, what you trying to do? What are you trying to cook up? Huh? Good game. Yeah, ja. How we feeling? Yo, Mike, you still here? Michael Lou. That's how you say your last name, right, Lou? Hello. Talk to me, peoples. I'm getting lonely. Getting hot in this biatch. Ooh, it's a good ass question, Charles. Dog, we out here. Sorry, bro. I'm putting it together, man. You guys are gonna like what I got so far. Throwing in some extras that I haven't even talked about that y'all will enjoy. It's gonna be fucking sick. It's gonna be fucking sick. My favorite style of hamburger. Yo, low key, putting coleslaw on your hamburger is a motherfucking game changer. Coleslaw on the burger. You know what? I kind of got sick of barbecue sauce on my burgers. I don't know why. I used to love it. I think I had a bad experience one time, and then I just like fucking passed away. Don't worry, Eli. We're gonna change that up this year, bro. We're gonna change that up. No, it ain't too messy. You just got to put the quantity correctly, bro. Do a little spoonful. Don't get fucking aggressive. You don't need to eat a pound of coleslaw. One little spoonful. Because then when you smush it down, that shit's going to spread like some fucking octopus in there. Do I have any material on auction drafts? Nah, to be honest with you, most of my material centers just around redraft. I apologize for that. There's been a few people in the last few days that have been asking me about auction drafts, but I don't have any material specifically catered toward auctions, unfortunately. I apologize. What would your draft strategy be in full PPR? Not really much different. I mean, the player rankings are my strategy is not going to be any different, but strategy is not much different. It would, the rankings are going to be a little bit different, obviously, just because players who catch the ball more are worth more. That also does one one thing that I don't think a lot of people really take into account is the fact that full PPR makes the quarterbacks even a little bit less valuable than they already are, especially in a one quarterback league, because obviously the other positions are scoring more points. So knocks down the quarterbacks even more. So late round quarterback is the strategy in full PPR. Hopkins or OBJ in Dynasty. It's OBJ for me. He's my number one overall player in Dynasty. OBJ probably. Or would you draft Geis in a full point PPR? You know, I'm liking Geis more and more because, in my opinion, I don't really see much of a difference between Darius Geis and Jordan Howard. And Jordan Howard's going around 2 rounds earlier. Geis, I think the earliest you could take him in a full PPR is the 4th round, because it's hard to say how involved he's going to be in the passing game. If they want to start getting with where the fucking league is going and start passing the ball on early downs, 1st and 2nd downs, then Geis could be super valuable, but I don't know if we're going to see that. So Geis is someone that I love talent-wise, but the opportunity, you got to be smart opportunity-wise, because you just don't know how they're going to use him, man. So I think we'll get a better idea as the preseason goes by, though. So 4th round, probably the earliest. Great offensive line, though. With if they're healthy, they're going to be a much better offensive line. I like the octopus visual. Yeah, I don't know why the coleslaw just fucking made me think of that. RB wide receiver. Nah, man, I can't. I'm not going to go into the draft with a strategy like that, unless you know your draft spot and you know who's going to get picked there. But otherwise, happy Father's Day to all you fathers, by the way. Huh? Yeah, I mean, if you're the 3rd pick, if you're the 3rd overall pick, I'm definitely taking one of those elite running backs. You know, my rankings would probably be, what was it, full PPR, right? Bell, Gurley, David Johnson, Zeke in full PPR. Thank you, Seth. He knows. Thoughts on Melvin Gordon? Nothing, no strong takes there. I'm fine taking him where he is, like around his ADP, probably like 10th overall. If I have like a late 1st round pick, I'm fine with him as my RB1 or the beginning of the 2nd round. Like I don't have like, not like avoiding him or reaching for him necessarily, but I'm fine where he's at. Should be super involved again. I'm not really worried about Eckler or Justin Jackson eating into his workload. Nah, not really. Melvin Gordon or Joe Mixon, Dynasty PPR. You can give me Melvin Gordon there. Gordo. I'm really fucking pissed still Hunter Henry got hurt, yo. Still hurts my heart. Man. Your favorite running back handcuff? Probably say Chase Edmonds out of fucking Arizona. Sorry, blanked out there for a second. I don't know. I'd have off the top of my head, I can't really think of fucking who the handcuff. There's not a lot of handcuffs really in the NFL. Gio's a really good handcuff for Mixon. Let me look at some of the squads. RBBC. So I love the combo of Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead. Obviously I like the Titans combo of Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis, but too expensive. Like I would never use like my 3rd round pick on Henry and then my 5th round pick on Lewis. But I mean, I like both players individually if you can get them at the as a value. Let's see. Giants, Eagles. Oh, Clement. Love Clement. Behind the Jai. Latavius Murray would probably be the most valuable handcuff overall behind Dalvin Cook. If he went injured again, Latavius Murray is pretty much a low-end RB1 for sure rest of the year. That's when I discovered your channel. When? What you talking about, bro? Paul Richardson going to be decent sleeper? Not really. I mean, he'll have his games and his plays, but it's nothing that you're going to be able to trust in a redraft league. So I'm probably staying away from him. As much as I like him as a player, like you can't really. I'm not touching him in anything but like 14-team leagues, maybe a 12-team league. I like that tat on your arm. Yeah, it says living. It's a heartbeat with living. I told Steve, my best friend, whenever I die, which is probably in the next like 7 years, he can cross that out and put dead if he wants. For reals. I got this out when I was in California in San Diego, the tattoo shop I went to. The guy who was there was like a guest specialist tattoo or whatever. He was doing a tour around the country, and he was biking, like bicycling around the entire country, every state. He was doing a tattoo in every state. Cool little fun fact, bruh. So I was his California tattoo. That's what's up. Do you wash it after? Wash what? My tattoo? Y'all are fucking crazy as hell. Hey, Nick. What's up, Robert Downey Jr.? How's life for you going, bro? Any new movies coming out? Joe Mixon thoughts. I love me some Joe Mixon. I think if he drops into the 3rd round, you got a fucking snag. Where should I be getting Julian Edelman? 8 teams. Jeez, 8 teams, bruh. Edelman's a guy I like if he's dropping in drafts. He's someone that I would like to take later rounds. Because some leagues, you know, people are going to be like, oh, he's gone for the first 4 games. Like, I'm not even going to think about taking him. But I think when he comes back, he's going to be fine. So, I don't know. I can't think of what 8 teams means off the top of my fucking head. So maybe, I don't know, like 9th, 10th round, I think, if I'm thinking correctly. Do you see any regression in LaShawn McCoy this year? Yeah, I mean, I would see regression. I think that's the popular pick, though, and it's starting to get baked into his ADP. So you see him falling more and more and more in drafts. I'm hoping if he can fall to the 3rd round too, man, I think he's a great pick just because based off volume and his involvement in the passing game. But yeah, I mean, overall efficiency is going to be worse because they have terrible quarterback play. He doesn't have Tyrod there opening up holes. They lose 3 of their offensive linemen. Teams are just going to be zoning in on him. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to catch 60 balls again. So I think Bell is going to get overworked and injured. I don't know. I can't predict that. I mean, he's my number 1 overall player in fantasy. So my prediction would be no, but who knows? Pick 2. McCoy 1st round. Hell no. Mixon 2nd round. No. Terry Kill 5th. Drake Hill 5th. Baldwin 3rd. Dillon's 5th. 0.1 per carry. None of those are really values, bruh. I would say Tyreek Hill in the 5th is a value, but I'm also lower on Hill than most people are. I like Baldwin in the 3rd. If it's 0.1 per carry, I guess Mixon's not terrible, even though it doesn't really factor in too much. That's like 20 carries. It's just an extra 2 points. Can you give me your opinion on David Njoku? Yeah, so, I mean, Tyrod relied on Clay, but that was also because he had no other weapons to work with in Buffalo. Now, Njoku is still split. Like, Josh Gordon is there, Jarvis Landry is there, whoever ends up winning that 3rd wide receiver role between Corey Coleman, Antonio Callaway, and they have Duke Johnson there. So, like, David Njoku's ceiling is very limited just based on his overall volume. So I'm not really that high on him. And, I mean, he split time with Seth Devolver or whatever last year, and he wasn't even that bad. I mean, I expect his snap volume to go up a little bit, but I'm not going to predict a breakout. I mean, you love him athletically, of course, but there's just too many mouths to feed in a Browns offense that's projected to get 5.5 wins. So everyone loves Josh Gordon. Everyone loves, this Browns offense. But at the end of the day, they're not a team who's going to be able to have a roster of guys who scores 8 touchdowns receiving wise. You know what I mean? Because they're still not going to win many games. Think he's a true bell cow? Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to give him that chance. The player director of personnel or whatever said he's the bell cow for coming into 2018. Which is chance being a top 5 running back? Not likely. It's not likely, but it wouldn't surprise anybody. I think he's got a really good combo of floor and ceiling. I think he's going to get a lot of touches. I mean, the biggest problem is the fact that just the Bengals offense in general, they're not a high volume offense. It's not a lot of plays. So him hitting like 25 touches a game is unlikely just because of the offense. But the fact that they upgraded the O-line should do some wonders for that offense overall. New left tackle, new center, and stuff like that. Because the center was like the weakest point. There's so many plays last year that just got blown up in the backfield. So I think good things are ahead for Mixon. I think if Fournette gets third down work, he's in the bell. Nah. Dude, those guys catch like 60 to 80 balls. Well, not Zeke, but Zeke's also got like the best offensive line. Scores touchdowns every single game. Gets like 22 carries. Fournette's more so in the Zeke stratosphere because he's not as involved in the passing game. Randy Butler, keeper league, full point PPR, Fournette or Hunt. Leaning towards Fournette, even though he didn't get near the targets. Yeah, I would rather have Fournette too. Because that defense is there to stay. And they just they're getting a better and better offensive line. I'm with it. Jerick McKinnon or Joe Mixon standard. Standard, huh? That's going to be one of my In the Muck Mondays, I think. Jerick McKinnon, Joe Mixon, Christian McCaffrey or something like that. Those are guys who are all going around the same spot. Standard, I think I'm going to go with Joe Mixon. Zay Jones a drop in Dynasty. Yeah, I'm fine dropping Zay Jones. Larry Fitz still worth the 4 or 5 pick? Yeah, absolutely. Especially in PPR. I think he's a steal again this year. I see his ADP creeping up into like the early 30s though soon. T.Y. Hilton thoughts. Should I get him cheap after a down year and no luck, or I leave him be? Then I think now is the time to buy Hilton if you can, bro. I think Luck's going to be in the lineup week 1. I think Hilton will be back to he'd be bike to Hilton status. So I would hit up Hilton now if you can get him on the low though. If you're doing best ball drafts, motherfucker. Woo. Let's go. If you're doing best ball drafts, go draft Hilton like the 4th, 5th round. Go make it happen. Who's the best wide receiver in the game and why is it? That's fucking funny, whatever the fuck your name is. Ever fart and made yourself gag multiple times? Usually in my sleep, though. What do you think of Darius Geis and half PPR? Like him. Like him, don't love him. Don't hate him. Not a player I'm avoiding. Super talented. Should have a good O-line. Just not sure how involved in the passing game is going to be. I'm actually going to check that out, what the Redskins, how often they threw the ball to running backs on the first down. But not often because they have fucking Rob Kelly and Samaje Perine. Let's see. Offensive frequency. Target rate by position. We're going to look at first and second down. And Washington, 21%. Did they do this or what's up? What are we doing here, folks? On first and second down, Washington throws the ball to the running backs on 21% of their passes, which is a little below league average. That was in 2017. Let's see 2016. They were at 15%, so even lower. Not good for Geis's passing game chops. You're behind in the league, man, if that's what you're doing. If you look at the teams that do it, that throw the ball to their running backs on early downs successfully, like the league leaders are New England, New Orleans, Pittsburgh. Like those are good teams, good offenses because they know what they do. They know what they're doing, bro. Allen Hurns is a wide receiver too. Dude, I'm all in on Allen Hurns as like the steal, the value of the draft. Now that Hogan's value is going to be gone because people are going to get on him with Edelman, I think Hogan and Allen Hurns are like Hurns, man. I think he's easily slotted in for that wide receiver 1 role. He's going to be playing on the outside now, and his breakout year came on the outside. The last 2 years, the Jacksonville Jaguars forced him into the slot, but the year he had that breakout 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, he was running like 70% of his routes from the outside. And he's going to be doing that again in Dallas. So, Hurns, man. Are you a Buck believer? He's my favorite tight end to own in Denver, for sure. Is there a star player you hate whenever draft, no matter the value? Like on a personal level? I don't know. I don't think so. If Eddie Lacy was still considered a star, it'd be him. Thoughts on Chester Rogers? Nah, I'm going to stay away. I think he's already sitting out. I think he's injured something. I like Kane. Out in Indy. I like the two rookie wide receivers are intriguing to me. Amari Cooper or T.Y. Hilton standard? T.Y. Hilton for show. What's your thoughts on Kerryon Johnson? Love Kerryon Johnson next year. Keeper or Dynasty League? Love me some Kerryon. Quietly building one of the best offensive lines there in Detroit. He's a patient runner, and he hits the hole hard, which is perfect for a good O-line. He has 3-down capability, but they still have Theo Riddick there. Blunt should be out of Detroit by next year, so Kerryon is a really good outlook for 2019, 2018. Not sure. I have Zeke and Bell for my 2 keepers. Zeke and Bell, I'm saying with my friends. Who should I target wide receiver running back? It's kind of a general question. Kind of need more like, I don't know. It depends the draft. I'm not like, anytime people are asking me like who you should just like target, it would just strictly go off my rankings. He's the only tight end in Denver, but do you think he's worth much in Dynasty? Nah. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy about him in Dynasties because we haven't seen anything. I mean, they have Jeff Herman. No one's that's proven anything, but like if there's one guy who's going to break out, it's going to be Butt probably. But no pun intended, the likelihood of that happening, I don't know. Not too high. Outlook on Wentz coming off of his injury. Yeah, I think Wentz is going to be fine. He's like way ahead of his recovery schedule. I don't think it's going to limit him in any way. I do think his efficiency was like really crazy, and he was, I'm not going to say wild with his passes because that's his style of play, but like the success rate in comparison to his like dangerous plays, you know what I mean, were very high, almost to the point where it's like, can he repeat that? But I'm a big believer in Wentz, and I think probably top 5, 6 option fantasy quarterback. Pick 2, Dalvin Cook, Fournette, or Gordon. So close for me. I need a league scoring type though. Favorite and least favorite draft position so far. I kind of like a lot. So I want to be at the beginning or the end. I don't think I want to be on the middle picks this year, because I would like one of the top 4 running backs on my team. So probably I think 4 would probably get you the best value, because I'm fine with any of the top 4 running backs: Gurley, Zeke, Bell, David Johnson, and then obviously if you get the 4, you have the earliest pick in the second round. So you have a higher chance of like someone, I don't know, falling to you, whether it's Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, Fournette, or something like that. So, and then like the back half of the first round is like 10, 11, 12, because you'll get your pick of like an elite wide receiver as well as like a Melvin Gordon, Dalvin Cook, Fournette, one of those guys. So I like both of those spots. Hooper Scoopers. Nah, I wouldn't waste my time with Austin Hooper this year. Outside of like that first week where it was like 2 blown coverages, they scored a long touchdown on, he like didn't do anything. Thoughts on Redskins wide receivers? I haven't really dove into their situation, to be honest with you, yet. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know. I guess if there's one to own, it would be Jamison Crowder for me. But like I'm not excited about any of them. Should I trade Cooper for T.Y. in my PR? Honestly, I would take T.Y. there, John. You are sleeping on Ricky Seals-Jones. What do you mean I'm sleeping on him? I just fucking put out an Instagram post about him yesterday, 2 days ago. Do the Jets have anyone worth drafting? People are getting excited about Isaiah Crowell. I really don't know why, but I'm not targeting anyone in the Jets. Tips for two quarterback leagues. So tips for two quarterback league. My tip for two quarterback league is I don't think you need to necessarily jump at one of the elite quarterbacks. I think the way you gotta look at it is this. It's like think about your one quarterback league, right? Like who are you comfortable do you do late round quarterbacks in a one quarterback league? Like if you do, right, then that means you're comfortable with any of the top like 16 quarterbacks as your quarterback one, right? So you look at it the same way when you do a two quarterback league, but you take that guy who you were comfortable with, like the last ranked guy that you would take in late round, and you slot him in as your quarterback two, and then make sure you pick one of the guys ranked ahead of him as your quarterback one. So whoever you're comfortable with, the latest being your quarterback one in a one quarterback league, have him as your quarterback two in a two quarterback league, but make sure you get a quarterback ahead of him. If that makes any sense. So if like your 16th ranked quarterback this year is like Marcus Mariota, right? And he's like the last quarterback of the pool that you're comfortable having as your quarterback one in a one quarterback league. Have the same mentality for a two quarterback league, and just make sure that you draft someone prior to Mariota and then have him as your quarterback two. So you still have two viable starters at quarterback, and then you're gonna have to pick a third quarterback for your bench. Rookie draft: Anthony Miller, Michael Gallup. Ooh, definitely. Ooh, your name is fucking Anthony Miller. You do that to psych me out? I'm sticking with you, man. I'm going Anthony Miller for sure. I love Anthony Miller. Can you draft for me? Yeah. Well, I'll drop you my Venmo name, and we could discuss business if you want. I'm actually probably going to opening up some consulting slots, if you want to call it, where I'm going to do either 30-minute or hour-long openings where you could schedule me for a time period, whether it's like draft prep or it's actually in your draft. Like if you want to get on like via text message or even like a video Skype call while you're drafting or whatever, and I could help you out through it. So I'm probably going to be opening that sometime in the summer. Did you draft Alex Smith? Nah, he's probably going to be like my 23rd ranked quarterback, so I'm not cool with him there. Do you think Tevin Coleman sees more work in his contract here? If so, does that make you worry about Devonta Freeman? Nah, I think we've kind of seen what the split is going to be with them too. It's like Freeman 16 to 18 touches, and then Coleman between like 9 and 11-ish a game. I don't think Coleman gets an increase for any reason right now. So no, I'm good on Freeman coming back and getting like a 2016 kind of season. The 10-team half-point PPR league, is it crazy to draft Leonard Fournette over Hopkins? No, dude. I have Leonard Fournette ranked above Hopkins in my rankings. I just realistically, I just don't want to take a wide receiver with my first pick, especially if I have like a top 7 or 8 pick, unless it's Antonio Brown. Any advice on defense? I haven't really looked at defenses this year. My thing is, so I basically draft. I stream my defenses basically week to week. I always do. So what I would do is just look at, like, if you're someone like, I'll drop my defense on a week to week basis. Drop one, pick up a new one. So what I would do is before you draft, look at the NFL schedule for week 1 and be like, who's playing the Bills? You know, and if it's like a semi-competent defense, then draft them. I'm gonna look at week 1 schedule and see who's like a good defense to grab. So like the Steelers play the Browns. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be like high on the Browns, but Steelers would be fine week 1. Let's see. It's hard to do that with like, because the Vikings play, I don't know, like the 49ers, but the Vikings are a team that you're going to actually have to invest to pick in. So you want to get like a good to above average defense, not an elite one, but that also has an easy week 1 game. So like the Ravens play the Bills at home week 1. So they're like a great defensive team to pick because they're good. They're really good. So they'll probably go early, but you get that week 1 schedule. Let's see. Lions. The Lions are low-key not a bad defense, and they're playing against the Jets at home. So the Lions could be a good week 1 streamer for you. Draft tips for a roster that has keepers: Doug Baldwin, McCoy, and Gronk, but has no first. Ooh, Sam. No first or second round picks. I mean, I don't know, man. It really depends, Nick. What like who's available. I mean, obviously you're going to need running backs because most people are expecting McCoy to fall off a little bit, and I like I want to get a couple workhorse running backs on my team if possible. I don't know. Can you trade? Can you try to move that McCoy pick for like a second round pick or something? Fournette or Gordon? Really close. Depends on scoring type. What's your league scoring settings? If it's full PPR, I'll probably go Gordon. If it's anything else, I'll probably go Fournette. Amari Cooper a bust? Would you take him in the third? No, I definitely wouldn't take him in the third round. Fifth round is probably where I'd start looking at him. I'm not too high on Amari Cooper. Unrelated, but what's the sound wave tattoo? I was just talking about this before. It says, is a heartbeat. And it says living. So I got that when I was out in California. And who? What? So yeah, so when I pass away, I told my friend he's gonna write dead on it. He's gonna cross that shit out. I was just out there living, man. Felt like I had to represent. Chargers most likely gonna have a better defense than the Jags. They will have a very good defense. I think to say that they're most likely gonna have a better defense than the Jaguars, I think you're definitely reaching there, bro. I hope you stretched before you reached. I agree. Wow, there's no way you're fucking biased there, Thunderbolts. Robinson or Fitz half PPR? Give me Fitzy, baby. What the heck am I talking about? About what? What was I talking about when you commented that? RB sets the tone. Big facts. Yo, what up, Chris? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Robbie Anderson has insane metrics and efficiency last year on player profile. Would he be a good late round pick? Also, the Mirage, yeah. Yeah, that's the only concern I have with Robbie Anderson is he was pretty much the only weapon on that team last year. I mean, Jermaine Kearse was there, but he was, I don't know, he was getting like 4 or 5 catches a game. So Robbie Anderson was actually in my videos last year. He was like one of my 5 late round sleepers to take. Yeah, I mean, I love Robbie Anderson, but yeah, bringing in Terrell Pryor and then getting a Nunwa back it's hard to fall in love with him. Hunt or Barkley? Give me Barkley, bro. Barkley. So the new additions won't affect Robbie Anderson. That is anti what I said, bro. Is Foles a good late round pick? Fuck no. Why'd you take Foles as a late round pick? Are you a Philly fan? Is that like out of respect? Adam, McKinnon or Sony Michel, full PPR. Oh, that's McKinnon. It's not even close there, bro. McKinnon. What the business is. That's what I'm saying. What's up, Siski? Sky? How the fuck do you even say your name, bro? You're crazy as hell. I'm out of breath, bro. 14 team league. Yo, it's hot in this motherfucker. I shouldn't have ate so much pizza. Also gotta close the damn windows. Look at this shit. Man's got a motherfucking margarita candle. My sister told me that you're supposed to burn one of these. I always burn 3 at a time. My sister said you're supposed to burn 1 at a time. I feel like that's fake news. Can anyone comment on that? Can anyone tell me the rules? You're gonna light it up. Should I turn the lights off and be real creepy? Always burn all 3. What? I feel like you're fake news now, bro. Well, now I got to do the other 2 to even out with the other one. All right. 14-team league. A guy wants my 8th round pick, and he'll give me Edelman as a keeper. Edelman will have to be kept in the 10th round. Any value there? So you're going to lose your 8th and your 10th round pick. Is that correct, Michael Parker? Is that correct, my mans? Almost time for a new season. That's what I'm saying. Teron, how you doing, stud? You know how we out here. Always eating. Remember when you argued with the other YouTuber about Chris Conley being a good weapon? What happened? Chris Conley fucking like tore his ACL last year. He was injured for the entire season. Dion Lewis or Sonny Michel? Full PPR. Good question. Wow. At this point in the offseason, I'm going to go with Dion Lewis right now, but I have a feeling it might change by the time the season starts. So you're high on McKinnon. Why? Yeah, for obvious reasons. Because fucking Carlos Hyde, who sucks at – doesn't suck, but an average pass catcher, caught like 58 passes last year in Shanahan's offense. He is one of the better offensive-minded coaches. He throws the ball to running backs on 1st and 2nd down, which is the way that the NFL is going. McKinnon is a very good pass catcher. Thus, he is going to put up a phenomenal amount of PPR points for you. I can trade. Who should I go after? I mean, just asking me who you should go after is more just a question of looking at my rankings, to be honest with you. Meeting them damn hot chips. Yeah, you fucking right, bro. That was last week. It still is. Still kind of fucking me up, though. Do you play basketball? Professionally. Professionally, I did for 2 years. Then the Lakers cut me. Now I just play at the courts up by my house. Kevin White or Anthony Miller? Anthony Miller. It's not even close for me, my friend. I love me Anthony Miller. Yes, sir. Lose 8th and keep Edelman in the 10th. I don't know if I'd give up 2 of those picks, Mike. Like, that's where I would be drafting him normally. So to lose 2 picks of those is probably not. Is it full PPR? What's the league type? Brandon Cooks in the 4th round dynasty starter, good or bad value? I'm not really all in on Brandon Cooks, man. And especially they didn't sign the contract extension, right? With Cooks? He's still kind of floating there on a 1-year deal? Or is that fake news? Did I just lie to you guys? Let me check that out. They plan to sign him to an extension. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. So Cooks, I'm a little weary on his dynasty value. Nah, bro, but you said when Patrick Mahomes was under center. What does that mean? I don't get what you're saying. My argument last summer was that Chris Conley was a late-round wide receiver sleeper, and then he got hurt for the entire year. So I don't understand, like, what your point is that you're making. Did DeMarco sign with anyone yet? Nope. Him and Dez, they're both just too good to get signed by anyone. I know who Chris Conley is. Kamara or Barkley, half-point PPR. I have Kamara as my 6th ranked guy. I think Barkley is 7th. So it's really early, but it's personal preference on you. I might move Barkley over Kamara. What's the earliest you take Graham? I know you hate him, but he's going the 9th, 10th on ESPN. I think it's relative to the other tight ends. Like if he's going in the 9th or 10th, then that probably means Laney Walker is going in like the 12th. And in that sense, I would rather have him. If it's full standard, then maybe I'd prefer Graham just because his likelihood of scoring more touchdowns is a lot higher. But yeah, I think it's relative to where the other guys are going. Like if you're saying like Delaney Walker's going in like the 6th or the 7th, and then Graham's going in the 9th, and yeah, I'm absolutely fine with that. What's your rankings for rookies, running backs, and do you think Penny and Jones will be week 1 starters? Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be the starters on their team. Rankings for rookie running backs and PPR, I would go Barkley, still Sonny Michel, Penny, Geis, Jones and Freeman are super close for me. How much faith do you have in Mixon this year, and do you value him a lot more than McKinnon? Depends what the league type is. If it's full PPR, I would take McKinnon probably. Why don't enough people like Royce Freeman? He hasn't really shown – he's not really like a 3-down back per se. I don't know if he's going to get a lot of the passing work. And Devontae Booker's a much better pass blocker. And Freeman's not like – he was a prolific producer at Oregon, but he wasn't like a guy he doesn't like create his own yards really. So he's not like a great running back in that sense. With a bad Broncos offensive line, he's probably going to be hitting the backfield a lot. So if you don't have a guy who can create his own yards in the backfield, then he's going to struggle, being efficient, I guess you could say. But I mean, the volume's definitely there. So Odell or Keenan full PPR. Yeah, Odell for sure for me. Worried about Denver O-line. Yep. Thoughts on Albert Wilson? Nah, I really want no part of that passing offense, to be honest with you. There's like 6 guys that people want to put as a sleeper, like Devonta Parker, Mike Gesicki, Kenny Stills, Albert Wilson. Like, that's not an offense that has enough fucking volume to really even hold barely like 1 or 2 guys. So I'm not like, I don't know. I mean, if you want to take the shot on him, I think it's anyone's guess as to who actually ends up doing well. Targets are spread out in LA. Don't get Cook's hype. Yeah, me either. I'm not Cook. I know, John. The same shit over and over again. Most likely first round ADP to bust. Good question. Let me think. Who's going in the first round right now? Dude, I like all the first round picks, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't like any of them to bust. I usually have guys that I would say are probably going to bust on a year-to-year basis, but this year I really don't. There's none that I. Let me see. Let me look at the ADPs for a sec. See if anyone's like jumping off the screen at me. I don't know. I don't see a lot of bust potential in most of them outside of injury. Like, I know a lot of people are probably lower on Fournette than I am. One thing I would say is fucking DeAndre Hopkins' ADP is 7 overall. And I would not take DeAndre Hopkins over Saquon Barkley, over Fournette or Melvin Gordon or a workhorse running back. So, I mean, I'm not going to say like Hopkins is a bust, but I think there are better values at that spot where he's going. If that makes sense. What's good, Kellen? What's up? Saw, dude. What else we got, bro? I'm thinking about drafting at number 9, get Odell Fournette in the first, and then guaranteed your Cook or Allen in the second. Yeah, I think I love that. That's why I like that. That's what I was saying before. I like one of the first 4 picks. So you can get one of the elite running backs or one of the later picks in the draft. So you can get 2 guys like that who are both studs at one position or the other. Sold on Taylor? Nah, I'm good on Taylor Gabriel. I wouldn't touch him in a redraft league. Good real life weapon, but I would much rather have Anthony Miller than Taylor Gabriel. James Washington, great piece. I like that. It keeps Juju Smith inside as an inside route runner. He doesn't have to go outside. So Michelle Standard or just PPR? Obviously a little bit lower on PPR, but I still like him. His touchdown upside so high. Does Ronald Allison have any value? Yeah, I mean, right now he does because he's like the de facto wide receiver 3, but I think we're going to see a lot of change, or we're going to see a lot of buzz and hype and rumors throughout the preseason about that Packers wide receiver corps. So right now he should be the wide receiver 3, but it's anyone's to guess as like what actually happens when they step on the field in week 1. Allison's a guy that I kind of like as in best ball drafts. Sorry. What do you think the upside of Cooper Kupp is this season? Dude, I like Cooper Kupp a lot, man. I really do. I really, really do. I think people are just like, oh yeah, Cooper Kupp is like they replaced Kupp with they replaced Watkins with Cooks. But for me, that says that like Watkins is a way better red zone target than Cooks is. So I think that pulls back on, Jared Goff's targets to Sammy Watkins. He threw a lot of like slants, 1-yard line and stuff like that. I don't think Cooks is going to get those, which I think opens up more red zone targets and more end zone targets. I think Kupp came into the year unsure of his his actual fucking role on the team, right? With all the wide receivers, we weren't sure how it was going to work out, and now he knows exactly where he's going to be in the slot. He has a really good chemistry with Goff, so I think Kupp's going to take a step forward. I know the popular storyline is like, oh, Kupp, like how can he possibly produce anything more than he did last year? I think that's a lazy look at it. I'm high on Kupp. Kupp's my favorite of the Rams receivers because he's going late. He's going latest in the drafts, and he's the one I want on my team. Everybody. Thoughts on Trey Burton? Half PPR rush. You can give me Freeman, then McKinnon, then C-Mac. Thoughts on Trey Burton? So when I first started doing research on Trey Burton, with Trey Burton, I was like, oh, he's going to be a bust. But only because I thought the hype would get so high to the point where he was going to be like picked in the top 8 or 6 tight ends. But that's not the case. He's like tight end 12 or something like that. So I think he's a fine late tight end. But again, I want one of the higher tight ends so I can kind of depend on them. I don't want to have to try to stream or like guess or take shots in the dark on free waiver wire tight ends because that shit is fucking miserable on a year-to-year basis. So, Trey Burton, I don't know. I don't really like guys who just have a very small sample size and you're just assuming that they're going to be awesome. I mean, it's still an offense that needs to prove something, right? Trey Burton is never a guy who's really like produced historically. Like he's been good in spot starts for Zach Ertz, but he was also in a perfect position where he knew the offense easily, right? He knew the whole Eagles offense, and it was all he had to do was step into the Ertz role, which he's been practicing for years. Like there was a lot going for him, and he stepped into a great offense. And now like things are new, and obviously it's going to be a good offense there, and he's going to have a big role in Chicago. But there are other mouths to feed and stuff, so I'm not predicting like Trey Burton ends up as like a top 3 or 5 tight end this year. I think he's fine where he's going though. Could be a value. Tom Montgomery winning Green Bay job. Yeah, maybe as like the fucking slot receiver. When you collaborated with the other YouTuber Fantasy Football Advice, I believe, yeah, it was them. You were arguing that Chris Conley said he would be a low-key sleeper. And yeah, last year, if he didn't get hurt, maybe he would have been. But why? No, of course, I'm not going to say that now because they have Sammy Watkins. Green Bay backfield. Bro, I made an entire video on Aaron Jones versus Jamal Williams. It was a Sean McCoy finished. No, I wouldn't say he's finished. He still played fine last year, all things considered, with the team around him. His efficiency should go down because there's so much shit working against him. But like, if everyone is on the train that he's finished, then his ADP is going to keep dropping. So I'm cool with him in the late second, early third round for sure. Favorite NFL team, the Falcons, bro. The Falcons, bro. I gotta start wearing my Julio jersey on Sundays now. I know Randall Cobb's been up and down looking for him to bounce back since Shorty's gone. I've covered this topic so many times. Said earlier you like the rookie wide receiver, we're just on Ryan Grant. I don't know. I don't really want anyone right now in the passing game outside of T.Y. Hilton and Jack Doyle. I just think these are guys to keep your eye on. Like I'm not drafting any of the Indy wide receivers outside of or pass catchers outside of T.Y. Hilton or Jack Doyle unless you're in like a 14-team league and you're looking for guys with upside. Like I wouldn't be drafting one of the rookie Colts receivers in a 10-team league or a 12-team league, just like hoping that it happens. Just more so guys to keep an eye on. Maybe watch them throughout the preseason, see their snap usage, and see if they run with the first team. Duke Johnson or Gio Bernard? Duke Johnson. When you do research on a player, what are some of the first things you look to learn about them? Good question. I actually broke this down because I brought on a few bloggers this summer, and I kind of showed them how I do it. So, I mean, I'll look at the player, I'll look at how he performed last year, and I'll also look at the game logs and go like week by week and see their consistency, because a lot of the times you can look at the rankings and someone finishes the top 15 wide receiver, but maybe 45% of their production came in like 2 or 3 games. That's not something you need in a redraft league, right? It's not good. Then I'll use like the free resources that I made the video about, like Player Profiler and Red Zone targets and things like that, to see their efficiency, and see like why they performed the way they did. So if someone scored like 12 touchdowns or something, a wide receiver scores 12 touchdowns, I want to look at, was it high red zone usage? Was it higher red zone usage than the year before, or is it the same? Because if it's the same red zone usage, but they scored like different touchdown numbers, that means it's probably fluctuating. It's hard to kind of depend on that year to year. And then obviously I'll look at the situation. Like you can't take for granted like quarterback changes, bringing in other weapons on the team, offensive line changes, especially for running backs, head coach and offensive coordinator changes are huge. So look at how they did last year, what changes were made this summer, and then how I'll project them next year based on that. And then once I start looking at a player, basically what I do is, I'll get my opinion on a player. So if I'm like, okay, Devonta Freeman is going to bounce back this year, I don't start writing all the reasons why I think Devonta Freeman's good. What I do is I think like, you motherfuckers on YouTube are ruthless if I get shit wrong. So the first things I'll do is be like, okay, what are going to be their counterpoints, right? So if I'm like, Devonta Freeman's going to bounce back, what are going to be their counterpoints? Oh, Tevin Coleman's probably going to get more involved. My first thing will be like, okay, let me look at their usage rates. Like, what about, like, why would you think Tevin Coleman's going to get more involved? Was he getting more touches down the stretch last year? Something like that. And I'll say, no, he's not, because if you look at the last 10 weeks of last year, Tevin Coleman saw the same amount of touches, blah, blah, blah. Devonta Freeman was hurt, like all these things. I'll start getting I'll start looking at what you guys will counter me with rather than what I want to kind of put out as solid points, if that makes sense. Let's see. I know you posted a quarterback sleeper video recently, but who's your favorite fantasy quarterback that's current ADP? Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston in like one quarterback league. So if you're in like a 10, 12 team league, he's going at like quarterback 18. And then if you're in a deeper league, Eli Manning is going at like quarterback 24, 25. When it comes to Eli, it's like some shit just don't add up, because you got Saquon Barkley, who's like a top 5, top 6 fantasy running back, elite pass catcher. You have OBJ, who's a top 3 fantasy wide receiver, and then you have Evan Ingram, top 5 fantasy tight end. So you have 3 top 5 basically at their positions, and then you have their quarterback, who's at quarterback 25. So you either have to ask yourself, like, which one of these is right? And I'm pretty sure that the fantasy community is correct about OBJ, Saquon Barkley, and Evan Ingram's talent. So if anything, they're going to meet in the middle there. So I think Eli is super undervalued. Cousins or Jimmy G? Cousins. I'm going to be much lower on Jimmy G than the consensus fantasy world. Show. Can I get a shout out? Yeah, what up, Carrie Brown? Terry. You guys remember that video with like the guy who's like handicapped, lit off the firework right in front of him, and his friend's like, Terry. This shit fucking had me dead, bruh. In a standard 8-team league, fuck you, Antonio. In the standard 8-team league, would you support my idea of only drafting 4 wide receivers? 2 quarterbacks on tight ends, or is that too little? How many wide receivers you need to start? I think Julio's going to get a new contract. Dude, I hope so. I think they will. I feel like Atlanta's good with paying their weapons. They're paying their team. Like, their front office is solid. I think they know what they need to do. I hope he doesn't want like a 6-year contract though. Like, we need to give Julio like 3 years, maybe. Give him a fat contract on 3 years, like fucking fully guarantee that shit. I'm cool with that. Because in a few years, he's probably going to be dead. Which Redskins receiver do you like most? Doxson, Crowder, P. Rich, and can anything finish the wide receiver 1? Nah, I don't see any of them finishing really that close to wide receiver 1. I guess, actually, I said Crowder before, but I think I might like Josh Doxson a little more than Crowder. I just don't get excited about Crowder. I don't know why people get so excited about Crowder year in and year out. I feel like 60% of his games are like 30 yards or less. Like, say every year. And every year he gets hyped up as like some fucking stud slot receiver. Like, oh, like not really though. Is Kenneth Dixon worth drafting late in a dynasty startup league? Yeah, I mean, if you can get him late, sure. Because if it doesn't work out with Baltimore, then it's probably gone. So you'll know pretty quickly whether or not you need to stash him and keep him. How much does the acquisition of West hurt Kamara's value? But I don't think it really hurts it at all. It's just like, it's not like I don't know. I didn't expect Kamara, like, I didn't expect them to give him like 20 carries a game. They were going to use a different, like, bigger back regardless of Ingram's fucking thing, but I do think it will give, like, if Kamara was getting like 12 carries with Ingram as the starting running back, then I think this maybe pushes him into like 14 or 15 carries if Terrence West is the starting running back. So don't think it really hurts because I just my expectations were never to the point where like I thought Kamara was going to get 20 carries. More important to draft the best wide receiver in the third or seventh round or prioritize starters. Player. Travis, what league size are you in? For the most part, I'm drafting value. At least like I would say like one spot past the starting position. Like if you could start 3 running backs and you start off with 3 running backs, you know, if the value is really good on that 4th pick and there's a really good running back there, I'd be okay taking him, but then I wouldn't keep going. I would start getting the other spots. Like one spot past the starting role is probably when I'd start going opposite directions. Zero impact. Yeah, exactly. Mikey, we're gonna need to get a couple more heads in the Airbnb. I had like 17 confirmed yeses, and then you wouldn't even believe the kind of emails and excuses of people that dropped out. It was actually out of control. But I'm gonna need to start. I'm gonna need to put it into my next like 2 or 3 videos and trying to capture like 2 spots or 3 spots. Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna happen. I have no doubt. But it was just like, yeah, we'll have most of the spots filled, but it was just like we went through the same process I went with you, like confirming with everybody and like being like, yes, these dates, this price, blah blah blah, and everyone's like, yep, I'm good, and then like I'm not gonna get personal in here and show some of the fucking responses, but I was like, Jesus Christ, like some people had some serious like life issues going on. I was like, okay, man, it ain't that fucking serious. I stopped promoting it because as soon as like I put it into like 1 or 2 videos, I got a fuckload of emails about it. So I was like, let me pull it back, and I haven't said anything about it in like 2 months. So I'm sure next time if I put it in like another video, we could fill like 2 or 3 spots pretty quickly. What else we got? What's the earliest you draft Clement? I assume more as a keeper value. Yeah, I mean, he's keeper slash sleeper slash handcuff. The earliest I would start looking at him is probably the double-digit rounds, probably like 10th round. I mean, like, I'm high on him as a sleeper, but like I'm not reaching for him because there's a good chance he doesn't really give you standalone value right away. Mike Williams stealing from Keenan this year. I wouldn't say Mike Williams is going to steal from Keenan at all, no. But Mike Williams, he went from someone that I wasn't even thinking about to Hunter Henry getting hurt, and now Mike Williams maybe like a deep late round sleeper. But I'm not like high on Mike Williams. But with Hunter Henry and Antonio Gates out, there's a lot of end zone targets up for grabs, and obviously he's that big guy. Devontae Adams or AJ Green? I have Devontae Adams ranked above Green. Yeah, what Mike said. AJ Green in redraft. Or wait, oh no, I would take Adams in both. I would take Adams. I have ranked above in redraft. I just like the quarterback situation, obviously. Aaron Rodgers there. I play in 10 or 12 team leagues. I'm sure he plays. I forget what I was even actually fucking talking about. Thoughts on Kyle Rudolph this year? I don't know. Fine with him where he's being drafted. Not super high on him. Not backing away from him. I'd be okay with him as my tight end 1 if I missed out on the guys I was targeting. Thoughts on Brandon Marshall? 0. Don't think he's going to make an impact. 12-man full PPR, 3rd and 4th round. Which 2 do you take out of these 4? That's close. I would take Juju Smith, and I would take Josh Gordon. Those would be my 2 guys there. I think those 4 wide receivers, I was just working on my rankings this morning. I'm pretty sure those 4 wide receivers are like my wide receivers 15 through 18, all super close. I think it's probably Juju, Gordon, Hill, Robinson in that order. Question based on having taken 2 running backs in first round. No difference. Alex Collins or Joe Mixon? Mixon, no doubt. Do you think the lack of surrounding talent around Doug Baldwin could potentially lead him to another 10-plus touchdown season? Yeah, I'm really high on Baldwin. So many red zone opportunities open there with Graham and Paul Richardson gone, and deep opportunities, obviously, with Richardson gone. So Baldwin could be a big factor there. I really like Baldwin. Juju hype. It's getting high, man. I'm staying on board, though. Thoughts on Mike Williams and Kevin White? I have no thoughts on Kevin White. I want no part of him. Mike Williams, like I actually just talked about this, but I'm nothing unless you're in a fucking deep league. I'm not touching either of them, but I would prefer Williams to Kevin White just because the 2 tight ends are gone there in San Diego, a lot of end zone. I don't think you're drafting him at a ceiling. I think he's, first of all, he's got a really good floor, so that's one of the reasons. The same reason why you draft the Fitz high. It's not like you don't expect him to go top 5, but he's going to be a good safety piece. So with Juju, I don't think you're drafting him at a ceiling because he was like a top on a points per game basis. Like over the last 10 weeks of the year last year, he was really productive. So, and I think the addition of James Washington actually helps Juju because now he stays inside, which is where he fucking dominates for his zone coverage. Not so good versus press and man coverage. So I think that actually helped him out. He disappears a lot. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's very inconsistent Baldwin, but that's why I think but he doesn't get the volume that other wide receiver ones do. And now that Paul Richardson and Jimmy Graham are gone, I think that the volume that he'll get, the volume increase he'll get will kind of offset the weekly inconsistencies, if that makes sense. Safe to take 2 RBs in the first rounds? Yes, absolutely, sir. Thielen going to maintain output? Hard to say. I like Thielen a lot. I think he had a shitload of red zone targets and stuff, and he didn't convert like whatsoever on them. So there's ceiling there. Like there's a lot of room for improvement, but I think that number comes down. He starts targeting Diggs more in the red zone. So I'm actually going to rank, I think, Diggs ahead of Thielen. But I think Thielen's a good play. PPR, half PPR. You think OJ Howard and Brate mutually kill each other's value? Yeah, kind of. I think OJ Howard might be a little better than I originally thought. I think he could produce some numbers, but they're not like I wouldn't want to start either of them in like a 10, 12 team league. Would I take Edelman over people like Watkins or Hearns? No. Actually, when I was working on my rankings this morning, I think I had Watkins at like wide receiver 27, Hearns at maybe 29, and then Edelman 30 or 31. So close, but I would take the other 2 over Edelman. Who's the receiver in Oakland? Well, apparently it's not Martavis Bryant because a lot of rumors about him being suspended, as I've come to learn. So and it's definitely not Jordan Nelson, so it would be Amari Cooper, but I still think Amari Cooper's being drafted too high. Thoughts on Charles Clay? Not high on him. Don't want to start him in 10-12. Tyrod Taylor is a top 10 QB this year because rushing to the next supporting cast. I think he's going to be benched eventually, but in the games that he does play, yeah, I think he could put some numbers up. I mean, he was fine in Buffalo. Dude, I'm rising on Watkins. I'm not really sure what it is. It's kind of a gut feeling right now, but I think the fact that like when you have a good offensive minded coach that goes out who one is the play caller, right? The guy who calls the plays, who's Andy Reid, goes out and grabs a guy for the tune of fucking $48 million. I expect Sammy Watkins to be the X receiver there. And I don't know. I wouldn't really surprise me to see him surpass. Oh, you mean low? Like where would you put Sammy Watkins? See, I wouldn't do that because I think the risk there is too I'm not sure who else I have ahead of him. Like you would take Watkins. No, Watkins is above a late round flyer. Mike, would you take Watkins or Marvin Jones? Would you take Watkins or Chris Hogan? Okay. The thing with Juju is the main production came in the last 3 weeks when Brown was out and when Davis didn't play. I think that's fake news. I'm pretty sure Juju over the last like 10 weeks of the season caught a shitload of balls. And let me fact check that. I think John Ross can be the number 2. Yeah, I think John Ross can be the number 2 in Cincy. I don't think that the number 2 in Cincy necessarily holds a lot of value, though. So, yeah, the last 3 weeks of the season, no. So he had week 7, he had a touchdown. Week 8, he went for 193 yards and a touchdown. Week 10, he went for 97 yards and a touchdown. The last 3 weeks of the season, he also played well, but it was definitely not just the last 3 weeks of the season, bro. Are you leaving right now, Mom? Sorry, I didn't realize I've been on this thing for like a minute. I'll be right back. No. Yeah, I didn't realize it was 2 o'clock. No, you're fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. Sorry, I didn't realize I was going somewhere for fucking for Faj's day. Watkins or Marvin Jones. Yeah, so that's a really good question for me. Like, I think them two are ranked closely, but I would take Marvin Jones over Watkins. Watkins, fake news. I think Marvin Jones. Close between Hogan and Watkins. Yeah, that exactly. So I don't think wide receiver 27 is so much of an indictment of Watkins. I just think I don't know. I have a lot of guys that I like a little bit above, but I am rising on him. So. Is it weird that I don't like if I got Evans as my wide receiver 1? No, it's not weird at all if you don't like Evans as my wide receiver 1. But say you'd like Allen or Adams more, yeah, I think that's kind of obvious. I think that's in the majority of people. I think Evans is maybe my wide receiver 11, and Allen, Adams are like my 5 and 6. So, yeah, I would rather not have Evans as my wide receiver 1 either. He just relies too heavily on touchdowns. But I do think he's going to bounce back with. I think Winston's in for a really big year. Brazil. Make or break year. Bro, if you look at the games that Winston played in last year. All right, so Winston played in. I mean, I'm looking at this from a fantasy perspective, not real life. You're right, because he's turnover prone. But so he played in 13 games. 2 of the games he wasn't really. He either got hurt early or he didn't end up finishing. Right, he had 13 passes or less in 2 of those games. So look at the 11 game sample size that he played in last year. He threw for over 305 yards per game, and was at almost 2 touchdowns. So that's like high end quarterback 1 numbers in fantasy. Where do you have Marvin Jones ranked? I think I had him at like 20, 23 maybe, which is probably low. A lot of people are not high on him, but later, Brandon. Doing a 0 wide receiver strategy. Marvin Jones be a good starter alongside Devontae Adams or Doug Baldwin. How you doing a 0 wide receiver strategy and you have Devontae Adams? Isn't he like a 2nd round pick? Do you just mean 0 wide receiver in the sense that your first 2 picks are going to be running backs? Big facts. Khalil. Yeah, dude, Don, I really fucking hate the front office in Tampa Bay too. I think they're just absolutely fucking ruining that team. I hate Dirk Cutter. I think he's like the worst fucking coach ever. That offense has so much talent on it. American accent's always bothering me. Where are you from, Born? Is your name Born? That's what I said, dude. I feel like American people sound fucking dumb, and I probably make American people sound even dumber. But I'm friends with a couple British guys, and they say I sound sophisticated when I talk, and I'm like, that's out of control. Any value for Jordan Matthews? Yeah, I mean, could be a good spot starter for you in the first 4 weeks, but I'm not like reaching on Jordan Matthews just so I could start him in the 4 weeks. I think we're going to see Gronk eat. I think we're going to see Hogan eat. And then I think like that, whoever is the other pass catcher is, they could take turns is who puts up numbers. Could be James White going for 90 yards and a touchdown one game, and then Jordan Matthews 5 for 70 and a touchdown. I just think it's pretty inconsistent. So what are your thoughts on Chris Thompson or Duke Johnson as RB3? I think both of those guys are too – their price is too rich for me outside of full PPR leagues. Thoughts on Chris Godwin? Yeah, exactly what you said, Killian. Love the guy in terms of talent, but I think they need Deshaun Jackson to get the fuck out of there so Chris Godwin can play. Do you like Nike or Adidas better? Clothing-wise, Nike. Shoes-wise, Adidas. I have like fucking 40 pairs of Adidas. It's out of control. The Ultra Boosts are just the greatest fucking thing to ever bless my foot. Thoughts on Corey Davis? To be honest with you, man, he's I don't know. He's still risky in my mind. I like him as a talent, but like yeah, like I don't think Corey Davis's price is like that high yet. I still think he's going in like the 7th or 8th round. But I think by the time drafts actually roll around like August, people are going to start like really being like, oh, Corey Davis is the one there. And it's possible, but I don't know. I see Corey Davis's ceiling this year as like a wide receiver 2, maybe. I don't know. Marquise Greatwin. Top 30? Yeah, he can get in there. I think he's more of like a top 30 overall. Like when we look back, he might have those top 30 numbers, but he's a player, he's got a special skill set where I'm not sure he's going to be like the possession receiver. So can you count on him week to week? Probably not. Although I do fucking hate Pierre Garçon this year, so that matters. I see Davis in the 6th. Yeah, I mean, depending on who else is going in that spot, like thoughts on Chris Carson. Dude, I fucking love Chris Carson. I wish they did not draft Rashad Penny, but the fact that they drafted Rashad Penny, Chris Carson is basically a nothing in redraft now. I'm so pissed. Demaryius Thomas or Alshon Jeffrey? I don't like Demaryius Thomas whatsoever this year. Hate the fact that he's going before Emmanuel Sanders. But we haven't heard anything. We haven't heard anything about Alshon Jeffrey because he's recovering from that torn rotator cuff. So as soon as I said they both go into the year healthy and ready week 1, I would take Alshon Jeffrey there. Do you like Larry Fitzgerald this year? Yes, I absolutely love Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's going to be a value in drafts again. They really don't have many weapons again on this team. And you bring in Sam Bradford, who is accurate over the middle. He throws to the slot, right? Those are always his lead receivers. I don't know. It's a good match as long as Bradford's on the field. Even if Josh Rosen, I think, Fitz is, really good PPR play again. And, I would have Fitz over Juju. Show. You look like PK in Spain. I don't really follow soccer, but I'm going to take that as a compliment because I figure all the Spanish national soccer players are probably fucking very good looking. So thank you, sir. And no, I'm not in a fucking motel in Louisiana. This is my room. This is my house. Why do they have a Chance the Rapper poster in their house? Think they're supplying you with shoes and shit, bro? No, son, my room's a mess. Bro, this is Born. I feel like you stumbled in here on accident because you saw the name fantasy football, and football is, we're talking about American motherfucking foosball, not football. Njoku versus Kittle. Who you got? Kittle for show. Yeah, like Mike said, there's too many weapons in Cleveland. Aaron Rodgers in the 5th. No. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's a pretty big drop, but I'm not taking a quarterback in the top 50. Say again. This is Football Americano, this chat room. I feel like you came in here thinking this shit was football, as in, yeah, Ivan, that's not even like, nah, it's Penny, bro. Unfortunately, as much as I love Chris Carson, you can't draft him. Chad Williams, any value? No, not really. I feel like there was one Roto World blurb that came out last year about Chad Williams, and I feel like that's the only reason why anyone even knows who he is, really. High metrics guy, high measurables in terms of testing, but he has proved nothing since he got I'm not a man, girl. Well, in fairness, your picture is all fucking black. And I guess we're in a football chat room, so it was, I feel like it's okay for me to assume. All right, don't make this like a fucking sexist, racist, feminist shit. I apologize. Accept my apology, please, girl. Pepsi or Coke? I gotta go Coke because my best friend's dad works for Coca-Cola, so he won't let me buy anything Pepsi. If we go to like fucking, keep calm, dude. I'm very calm. You're testing my patience, though, Born. Yeah. So if we go out, if we go to like 7-Eleven and I pick up a Pepsi product, he slaps it out of my fucking hand. Yo, Ivan, bring that fucking question into my chat room one more motherfucking time. Margaritas and mojitos. You a fucking fool for that. I drank so many margaritas this fucking weekend. I was at a party yesterday. A housewarming party, and the girl bought a fucking she rented a blow up it's okay, Born. I still love you, baby. A blow up fucking house that you could jump on and shit. And the person came that was dropping it off, and they made the girl whose house it was sign a contract. Basically, just like for responsibility of the house, so we didn't break it. And she was like, "Oh, how many children are you gonna have on this thing?" And we were like, it was like 40 people at the party, and they're all like my age, like 23 to 28. I'm like, I don't know, like 4 or 5. They're like, yeah, if they're over 10 years old, you can only have like 4 of them on there. We had like 30 people at one point, and the entire thing fucking crashed down. It was so much fun. What is streaming for, actually? Like this stream in particular, or are you talking about like what is streaming the process. This is for fantasy football, like American football, like the NFL, the National Football League. Often do you do this? I'm new to this live chat. I will do this. I've done it for the last 3 Sundays, and I plan to do it every Sunday. Thanks. So I plan to do it every Sunday, especially during the season. I try to do it before kickoff. So if kickoff's at 1 o'clock, I'll try to hop on from like 10:30 to 12:30. But every time I fucking did that last year, like I'd be so occupied with the live stream that fucking Mike, Mike, you liking these questions? Every time I do live stream, I forget to fucking set my rosters, and I'll go into the 1 o'clock games with like 2 guys who are hurt, and I'll be like, "Fuck, I didn't set my rosters," and I just look like a fucking idiot. If I purchase a draft guy, will I win my league? No, probably not. You'll probably lose your league, to be honest with you. So I've single-handedly cost 106 people to lose their leagues already. You know, they haven't even read my draft guide. Anthony Miller and draft. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, it's not even close. Ivan, Cam, baby. Might as well do mock drafts with us until the season. I was thinking about doing that. I want to do, I don't know. Would you guys like, so I do the mock drafts every Friday, right? I put out a new video of the mock draft. Do you want me to live stream me doing the mock draft and then put the fucking mock draft on my channel? Or you mean like mock draft with you guys? Because that shit sounds like a logistical fucking nightmare, trying to get 10 of you guys seeing lingerie football. So we can still do this while yeah, but I don't think you could watch my screen though. Live stream a mock draft with us. You guys, you can't see the, don't need to watch it. On YouTube, I don't think I could show you my screen. I don't think that's how this works. Where does Dez end up? Probably catching balls from Johnny Football in Canada. I need to start downloading fucking programs and shit. I tried to do that like last year because live streaming from your desktop is new to YouTube this year. This is a feature they just put in like a couple months ago. Last year I would do it on my fucking phone and it would sit here, which is horrible. Yeah, Don, if you want to look into that and let me know. I tried and like it all, I don't know. I didn't try hard enough, obviously, because I'm a pretty fucking resourceful person, but I couldn't figure it out. How can sign up for your draft? Which one? Trey, how old are you? You want to join the live draft we're doing in New York City? How old are you? If you're serious about it, it's expensive though because it's all inclusive. It's Friday to Sunday. We're staying in an Airbnb in Manhattan. It's like a sick penthouse. I already rented it out. But if you're serious, like if you're down, here's my email. Shoot me an email. If any of you guys want to find out more information about the live draft we're doing, subscribers only league, we're doing a live draft in New York. Shoot me an email to that email address. But like I said, it's more expensive. So if you ain't down with the cause, then you probably won't be down for this. CTE, it's concussions. Why so many American football players get suicide? Because they hit their fucking head too many times. Born, how old are you? Do you have any leagues I can join? So I'm doing 3 leagues this summer. So we have the Dynasty League, a startup dynasty that we're starting up this year. but we already I already have the league members for that. We actually picked the league members the last Sunday on last live stream. Then I'm gonna do a regular redraft, which is just like a 1-year league, regular rules and shit, smaller buy-in, probably like $10 to $20, which I will open for subscribers, but that won't be until I'll open that up in like August, early August, and then I'll pick the people. But there'll be a lot of people on that enter in to try to get into that. So small chance that you get in, if I'm being honest with you. And then the third league is the live draft. So it's going to be me and 9 subscribers. We're gonna meet in New York. We're staying in an Airbnb Friday to Sunday. We're gonna draft on one of the days, and then we're just gonna hang out for the rest of the weekend. So those are 3 leagues. We have redraft, dynasty, live draft. But dynasty's already taken. If you're interested in the live draft, shoot me an email at the email that I put in the chat. Any chance of Barkley being number 1 RB this year? Very unlikely, but it's possible. Sorry, I barely don't know football. It's fine. So looking your blogging season. I mean, I have a couple people that are working on the blogs, and they've been putting some stuff out. So depending on what I mean, you're welcome to fucking shoot me over something if you want. If you think you got what it takes, motherfucker. But I'm kind of just opening it up to, like, if you send me something and I'm like, okay, you could blog for me, that's fine. I'm just kind of putting you on your own schedule. I'm like opening the platform for you to blog about whatever you want, like use your own personality, your own creativity, whatever kind of content you want to push out. I'm not like bossing you around for any of that shit. So if you want, shoot me an email on the email I listed above. Reggie Bush got 12 mil. Yeah, I saw that. That big guy, what's his name? Sandra. You've got to be fucking with us right now. You're talking about in the blind side? Yeah, it was a good troll. I appreciated that one. Reggie Bush got 12 mil. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. It kind of fucked him up, though, like his career. So, still looking for somebody to do it. Tempted to take him. I mean, I wouldn't take him in second pick, but like, I'm not really gonna yell at you if you are. He's like my 6th or 7th overall player. The big guy, what's his name now? I forget what his fucking name even is. Yeah, I mean, you're like the 100th player to tell me that time someone drops out. What are the rules in your? I'm not troll at all. In your dynasty league, we have a Facebook group right now, and I'm putting in different like polls so that we're voting on the scoring settings and stuff. So we don't have the rules yet. What it's looking like is we're going to do 1 quarterback starting league, no super flex, unfortunately. 6-point passing touchdown. Yeah, I mean, I try not to be a fucking dictator over here. Only when I need to be. So I'm opening it up for just votes on whatever everybody wants to do. So 1 quarterback, 6-point passing touchdown. Probably going to be half PPR. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flexes. Jesus Christ. And then what else do we have? I don't think we're going to play with kickers or defenses. In my experience, the dynasty leagues that I'm in, it's funner to play without a kicker and defense because, I don't know, that's just a hassle. And you have so many players on your roster that like you got to be able to focus on that shit, because it's so deep. So all the polls are up there, so people are just voting. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know like next Sunday when we have more info. We play with IDPs. Yeah, we're not doing defensive players. I've actually never done a league with IDP, so I feel like if I start, I'm just gonna fuck everything up. I got a trade offer in Dynasty League, Tevin Coleman for Michael Gallup. I would take Tevin Coleman there in a heartbeat. This is a contract year. I think he gets a nice offer and he can land somewhere as like a high-end RB2 next year or even an RB1 if it's the right spot. About to add him top 5 wide receiver this year. He's ranked my wide receiver 6, so. Is NFL more popular than NBA? Yes. NFL is the most popular sport in the U.S. by far. The NBA is getting up there, though. The NBA is getting very, very popular. I think it's more of like a culture thing, too. You see more personality out of the NBA players. Like when you get to just see them on the court, like, you know, you see them outside of the uniform and shit. So Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. NFL more popular than that close. How close is what? NFL and NBA? I don't know. Go Brazil. NBA more popular internationally? Yeah, for sure. Because they love the stars that we have in the NBA. I think NFL is like on the hunt for fucking world dominance, though. They're gonna start moving teams and shit. Joe Mixon from the Bengals or McKinnon from the 49ers? Full PPR or standard? I feel like I've had this question like 400 times today. NFL is more popular in the UK than NBA. Wouldn't be surprised. I feel like UK is not big with the NBA, but NBA is so fucking big in like China, and that's big, pretty big part of the world. So it's definitely big in Russia too, because I feel like they have a lot of Russian basketball players that come out and do well. Full PPR, I think I'm going to lean McKinnon there. Yeah, South America basketball is getting big. It's just that the NFL is so fucking dominant in the U.S. Yeah, I agree. I feel like anytime it's just because you see the faces of the players, man, and they become international stars, especially coming from other countries. In the NFL, it's like, not to sound racist, but it's predominantly just African Americans. So it's not like you have a lot of like Russian people or Asian, Oriental, whatever, like coming in, and then like their country, you know, like when you have a player in the NBA who's coming from a country that like isn't represented by more than like one or two players, they have such a strong pride in those players, so they start following not only that player but their team and then the league overall, and you don't have that in the NFL really. How do you feel about Jordan Howard this year in PPR redraft? He's probably going to be too expensive for what I like in PPR. He pretty much a zero in the pass game, bro. FIBO. Big facts. Big facts only. Spelt backwards. Who'd you keep out of Jeremy Hill? Ew. How big is that league you're in, Stephen Bell? Damn, bro. I feel like I don't even think Jeremy Hill might make the roster. It's a huge league. Oh, God. I guess I would go with like I guess I would go with Jeremy Hill. Both of their floors are literally like fucking below the floor. But if Jeremy Hill can, I don't know, an injury, 2 injuries or something, Jeremy Hill is a guy with upside at least. Later, Anthony Miller. You my favorite rookie wide receiver this year, bro. You my favorite, dog. Is AJ a top 10 tight end this season? Fuck no. Who do you think the best player all time in NFL history is? Roddy White. We have 20 keepers, which I'm hoping to change. Yeah, in the Dynasty League I just adopted, we have 24 keepers. We have 24 keepers, and then the rookie draft is 4 rounds, so 28 roster spots in total. 28 roster spots. Well, we start 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 flexes, tight end. And we don't have kicker or defense, but the bench is huge, so it's fucking crazy. Actually, I put my roster, I think, in the last the Atlanta running back. Yeah. Would you disagree that Roddy White's the greatest NFL player of all time? I thought that was like common known facts, big facts only. My last, Steven, if you want to check out my team, the last mock draft I did on my YouTube channel, it's like the last one I did. It's like Dynasty mock draft. It'll say, I think the first like 5 minutes or whatever, I go over my rookie draft that I just had for that league, and I show you my roster and shit. So it's a team I just adopted this summer. I was like, I don't really want to get into an adopted team or an adopted league, but it was, I don't know, it was super flex league, and they already had Aaron Rodgers, Marcus Mariota, Jared Goff as the quarterbacks. And so it's like, that's a good super flex start. And then they had like Keenan Allen's full PPR. They had like Keenan Allen, Leonard Fournette, Tariq Cohen. So it was like I had like a lot of pieces there. It wasn't like I was taking over for the worst team in the league whatsoever. Yeah, my team, it was solid. I'm happy I took over that one. I have Sammy Watkins too, which is solid. I have a lot of like wide receivers that have upside, but can also fucking um also like kind of bust. So I have like Sammy Watkins and Devin Funches, um fucking Marquise Lee. So it's like guys that could potentially do good, but like don't love them, you know? Marvin, oh God, that's fucking brutal. Tavius Murray. What are you then? Do you play football too? No, I don't play football. I play football. It's just a fake kind of football. How old are you? I'm 25. You trying to come to America? My problem with Marquise Lee is like theoretically he's in a good spot. He's interesting because he got signed to the big contract and you assume he's a wide receiver one. But what I don't like is he's one of those guys that he's actually not a good, Born is intrigued. I like that. He's not a guy, he's not actually a good receiver. Everything I've seen efficiency wise, metrics wise, and just like in terms of him route running and his success on routes and like wide receiver separation and shit like that, he's not very good. And I think when you have that much competition, right, between Lee, Moncrief, D.D. Westbrook, Keelan Cole, DJ Chark, second round pick, like that I think will eventually play itself out. Like when the opportunity is there and you don't have anyone to challenge you, that could be fine. But I don't see upside in Marquise Lee. I think he'll eventually get kind of taken down. They just signed Moncrief. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but then they also signed him to a 4-year, $40 million contract and let go of Allen Robinson. Wait, what? You 25? I doubt that. How old do you think I am? You're saying I'm older or younger? I could show you my license if you want. What are your thoughts on Bears picking up Allen Robinson? I was really high on it at first, but I'm kind of pulling back the reins on it. I think obviously the offense is going to be much better, but I think Trubisky is going to rely a lot on the targets over the middle. I'm not sure how great he's going to be on outside throws to Allen Robinson because if you just look back at his history, even going back to UNC, it was like Brian Switzer as a slot receiver, had most of the production, and last year he was targeting Kendall Wright like crazy. He's very good throwing the ball over the middle. I'm not sure how good he's going to be on the outside. You thought I was at least 37 or 38? Jesus fucking Christ. People usually mistake me for like a 21-year-old. How the fuck do you think I'm 37 or 38? You're the fucking goat troller. You're a fucking top sleeper this year. I'm putting you in a fucking video, Born. Yeah, exactly. Like, is he worth a punt in the 10th round? It's like, sure. But there are guys I don't know. Like, I'd rather punt someone else. I'd rather take a flyer on someone else. Galladay, thoughts 2018, 2019 outlook. It's hard to. I want to get really excited about Galladay. I totally believe in his talent. I think he's a fucking beast. But when you look at, he's going to need like say like Marvin Jones gets seriously injured in preseason, like Galladay might start going higher than fucking Golden Tate in drafts. I'm not saying you should take him that high, but I'm saying like the hype is going to be fucking real. So people like Galladay. I'm included in that. So I think he might start eating into the work 2018, and then maybe 2019 he takes over. So I'm a big fan of Galladay in the Dynasty League, yeah, for sure. It's a good point, Don. Maybe it's the beard, I guess, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on Alshon? Yeah, I mean, I want to hear some reports on him before I haven't really been taking him in any best ball drafts because he is still working on that torn labrum. He's coming back from that. Born, you're Korean? I thought you were fucking German this whole time. Believe me, you wouldn't think I was 35 or 38 without this beard. I promise you. You think Keelan Cole is worth the dynasty stash? Yeah, I actually kind of like Keelan Cole. I think he might be the slot this year for Jacksonville. You know what I could get for Jordy Nelson the dynasty trade? God. Someone's going to have to be desperate. Thoughts on Terrell Pryor? Nah, not touching him anywhere, really. I am German. Oh, gotcha. You know what, Stephen Bell? I would wait because the Martavis Bryant might get suspended. And then if you're trying to sell him, I mean, wait for the Martavis Bryant suspension to come out. And then you could be like, oh, Jordy Nelson is fucking yak, whatever. Trade his ass then. Chris Carson thoughts. It's kind of irrelevant now with fucking Rashad Penny getting drafted first round. All right, homies, I gotta go hang out with my grandfather and my uncle for Faj's Day. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this live stream. Thank you for joining me as always. We're gonna do this every Sunday throughout the preseason into the fucking NFL season as well. So I'll be helping you out whenever you need it. And obviously, Purple Egg Yolk, you coming as we leaving, dog. We're 2.5 hours in. Enjoy all yours days, baby. Always feel free to fucking drop me a Twitter DM. Follow me on Instagram if you aren't already. If you're interested in the league in New York City, email me, nick@bigdogsfantasy.com. Father's Day, never heard of it. Born, I'm so fucking done with you. You and your bullshit. All right, peace, homies. I'm going to leave this live stream up on the channel, too, if you ever want to rewatch it. On today.